Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm broadcasting from the penthouse upstairs in the mini mansion. This is my private area. I'm letting you see it, but the only person who comes up here is my private personal assistant. She's not here today. So it might be a little messy. I have a few clothes over here that she's got to do, and we have a bed, and we have a big old closet back here, another closet over here, and over in front of me I've got another closet. I got to get rid of some clothes. But that's not what, excuse me, I'm blah, 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 blah. Get the mouth right. That's not what we're here to talk about. I'm here to rant. Today is Saturday. And I usually do not go anywhere on a Saturday. But I needed some allergy relief medication. I took the last of it last night. Usually I have my assistant, who is a woman of color, go and get what I need on Fridays. But I had a different woman of color come on Thursday and Friday, and she smokes cigarettes, and I have told her and asked her, and she denies it. But my neighbor said she came Thursday in a Crown Victoria, and he smelt smoke coming from her car very badly, and you just can't hide it, and it makes me sick. So she wasn't even supposed to come Thursday because I let her go, okay? And I told her she wasn't to come Friday. So I didn't have anyone to send to the store on Friday for me because I do not get out here on the weekends. And now I'm going to tell you why. Okay. I am in Mississippi, okay? I'm not going to tell you where, but as you all know, Jackson is a bad, bad place. Let me get something to drink. Jackson, Mississippi is the capital. Jackson is the capital of Mississippi. Y'all be nice. Okay. So anyway, we're not that far from Jackson. And this is like bad on the weekends. We have shootings like every weekend. Sometimes we get a break, but they go to these apartments. There's gang activity up here, and it's like retaliation. Once the shooting starts, they start retaliating. But that's not all. Okay, so this morning I'm going to get my allergy medicine. I found some good body stuff. So I have a Family Dollar just a block away, and then another couple of blocks there's a Dollar General. And then if I really want to shop, there is a Walmart just like 2 miles, okay? But I don't like that Walmart there. I'm actually in the, what you would call, my demographic is a minority here in this town, okay? But now I was born in this town, and I was raised in this town. But I left this town in 78, and I came back in 2020. So anyway, I learned real quick that things had gotten worse than they were when I left, because I'm from the coast now. That's where I'm from. I spent all my working years down there, and it's so different from the rest of Mississippi. It's just, you know. But anyway, that I consider that my home. Now, all things considered, I do have family up here, but I've been there for so long, they just don't even, remember that I'm here. So, I'm still on my own, which that's fine. That's fine. I've accepted that, and I've been very blessed to be able to be by myself and secure. And God's been good to me. I've had to do, I've had to go through some very trying times, but we good now. We good now. We got the mini mansion and the penthouse suite. But let's get to the day. Okay, today I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out early and I'm going to go to Dollar General. I'm going to get what I need. So there's nobody in the store when I get there. I don't know what time it was. There's nobody in the store. Okay, so, and listen, hey, before we go any further, I just want to say that my private assistant is a woman of color, and to make sure that all of you people listening, if you're of color, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not prejudiced. I'm telling the truth here. I'm telling it. And I'm telling you this, and I want you to know that I cannot be prejudiced, okay? On the other hand, I'm experiencing it from the people of color. Not my assistant, but I'm not. And to tell you the truth, and I don't tell a lot of people this, not because I'm ashamed, but because, my parents tried to cover it up. But on my father's side, I have a sister who has a black mother. So I have a half black sister. So I can't, be prejudiced. But anyway, I'm not anyway. And it was so nice on the coast because we didn't have any of this kind of stuff like I experienced today. But I remember why I don't go anywhere on weekends. I do. So I pull up to the Dollar General. I go in there. There's nobody there. I'm breezing around, and I'm just getting little things, and I'm looking at they have these cute pictures and home decor stuff. I'm looking at it, trying to find a calendar I can't find a calendar for 2026. Please tell me where I can find one. But anyway, I'm just about finished, and here comes a couple with a kid. And I mean, that couple was a couple of color. That kid was screaming and running all over the place. And I'm like, and another person had come in, a person of color, okay? And this is where it gets really ugly. Okay, so, I'm ready to get out because, what is that? Why do I have something blue flashing over here? Okay, anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. I said, I'm ready to go because I'm not going to listen to this kid. I'm not going to listen to him. Oh, it's from the thing over here. Okay. So, the way you go into Dollar General, there's a way that you enter. You go around these little shelves, and then you come in through, and you go, and that's where the line forms. Well, I was headed to the register, and this woman of color, she has her buggy. She's got it half full. I only have a few little things in where the baby part was sits. And she sees me going, and she runs in front of me and gets to the counter. Okay. So the guy takes her, and something happens, screws up the transaction or freezes up the machine, and then they try to undo it, so you're going to have to reboot it. So they got her out finally, but I had to stand there and wait all that time, and other people were getting waited on. I was still standing at the other register. And so they told me I was going to have to use my card. I looked down there and I said, no, I'm not using my card here. I said, I want to pay cash here. They said, well, you can't take it. So I said, well, you can just put all this stuff back. So I just put but that was my first experience. Well, my first experience was a kid running everywhere screaming, okay, can't you, like, try to you know, make it comfortable for other shoppers. I mean, you're not the only one that's alive on the planet, okay? And so, anyway, I just leave it there and I go right down to Family Dollar. Family Dollar is okay. It's okay. I was able to get my stuff. And I was standing, the only time was I was standing at one of the end caps, they call them. And my buggy was in the thing, but there was plenty of room for this woman to go around me. She's more like in between a teenager and a woman. But she just stood there like of color, stood there and she goes, "Excuse me," like that. And I looked over at her and went, I didn't say nothing. I just took a step. She had plenty of room to go behind me. Plenty of room. So, I'm like, okay. While I'm out, I'm going to the hair store, which is right down the street from where I live. As you know, I had at one time dyed my hair black. But I had been lifting it little bit by little bit to get it back to my original blonde color, which this is basically what my hair color is. It's a 27, they call it. But I'm going further. This is a little lighter, but I'm going further. But you can't do it all at one time. You got to give your hair time to rest, and then you just bleach it. So I knew what I needed. I needed the tub of bleach, and I needed a developer. So I like to go in that store, and I like to look at their jewelry. You know, they have, things that, white women don't normally go in that store because they got wigs. They're made for black women. But I bought some wigs there. When I lost my hair, when I got sick, I had to wear wigs, and I bought a lot of wigs from the black community because I liked them. They were cool looking. So I don't have any problems going into a black establishment or giving them my money. I do not. But this woman, sometimes she speaks, sometimes she does not. She did speak this time, and I went straight over. I got my little tub of bleach, which is about this big, okay, this big around, about that tall. And I got my cream developer. It's about that, about that big around. There's no customers in the store. There usually aren't any in there when I go in there anyway. One may come in while I'm in there, maybe two. But I haven't seen any more than two in that establishment. So they're not really hurting for customers, I mean, they're not really, I'm sorry, they're hurting for customers, is what I didn't say. So I take my bleach, my developer up there, and I set it on the counter there. And I said, I'm going to put this right here because I want to look around a little bit more. And she tells me that I have to go get one of those handheld carts, and tote it around with me while I looked in the store because she didn't want to inconvenience other customers. Now, she had a whole place up here that it wasn't bothering anything. And also, there was another place right up the front counter that was right there, and it was like this big. And I told her, I said, well, you know what? I have a bad back, and I really can't carry anything for very long. I said, but you know what? I said, let me have this bag. I said, I'm going to go to another store and pick this up. So I put it back on the counter, and when I was going out, she was looking at me like this. And I gave her the same energy look. And I went, ridiculous. And I went like this. And she knew it. She knew it. I mean, she wasn't one for, but I've been in there, she don't speak. Somebody of color comes in. Hi, how you doing? What you need today? Anyway, they're probably going to go out of business. But now when I got back home, I left a review. I did. But then I go over to get my haircut, my hair products at the other place, and a woman of color, very well dressed, had her hair and makeup done so well. She told me where to find my products, so I went and got them, and I took them up there. because I have to keep lifting this, but I have to do it little bit by little bit. And as I get it lifted, then I tone it down where it's not so brassy. But it's hard to do, you got to be real careful. Because one time I burned it up. I put a 50 weight developer on it and it turned it white and it burned it up. And it was coming out my hand. So I've learned how to be careful with it. I had a beautician, she cut my hair, it wasn't about that long. So it's about 30 inches long now. So I'm being real careful with it because I love my hair. It's long and I'm leaving the bottom of it dark and I'm just doing the top. And then when it grows out a little bit more, I'll probably do the bottom. But I'm not so concerned because my hair is so thick that when I do the bottom, it might be like this, and I don't want that. But it does keep it kind of, less damage. And it's kind of style too, because they do stuff like this. But anyway, she was very nice, very nice. And she helped me so well. She said, they did that to you? Because I told her. She says, oh my gosh, people bring their products up here and ask us to hold it. And we just put it there. When they come here, we'll get it for them. I said, well, there wasn't nobody in that store. And I said, they ain't going to have me in that store no more because I ain't going in there. I said, she was racist. Racist. But anyway, when I got home, I was thinking, Lord, how that woman at Dollar General just ran in front of me from the other way, which was not the way into the checkout. She didn't went the other way. And then that. So I'm just gonna let it go. Let it go. But no, guys, I wanted to tell you that the day I started working on my Dark and Dangerous about the 10-year-old that killed his family, there were two other stories that came out about a 10-year-old. And I was looking at all that and I'm like, wow, this is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. What's happening with these kids today? So I was just stunted right there. And then I poured juice all over my other computer. Brand new. Now this one I'm using here, it is a refurbished one. So I was glad to get it. It's doing everything I want it to. And I'm happy about it. But anyway, I got to get off. We're at 18 minutes. But I just wanted to tell you. And we got all that happening up in New York and everything. If y'all want to come down south, y'all need to think about some of this stuff because you're going to have to deal with this. Because on the weekends, it's like theirs. Okay, but actually before the weekends, because with the situation that we've had around the mini mansion here, you can tell they start on Thursday and they finish up on Sunday night. So they actually start the day early. So when I got back here to this city, I had to, I started reading the paper all the time online. And, we have another guy that does the news online. So I would actually have to see where the crime is. And what I did was I would write down where the crime was, and I would actually go to that area online to see where it was to make sure that I did not go there. Excuse me. To make sure that I would not go there. Y'all, one more thing. I'm on Wegovy. And I feel a lot better. It was not for weight loss, but it is causing me to lose weight. But I had to argue with myself over the Lindor chocolates yesterday or day before because I still want them. The rest of the time I'm really not hungry, but I want those chocolates. It's my favorite candy. But anyway, I did walk away. But it is causing me to lose weight. But it makes me burp for some reason. But anyway, I guess that's about all. But if you're thinking of coming south from like New York City, you need to look into your demographics. You need to see what you're going to be up against because it's really different down here than it is up yonder. I'm going to tell you right now. But you better, and you know, I talked to a lady. She was from New Jersey or somewhere. And boy, she was down on Trump really bad. She was sitting up here in my penthouse. I let her come up here because she wanted to see what these look like. Um, that's why I shut it off to people. They have to stay down on the first level. But anyway, she got herself in a tizzy all by herself because I just sat there and listened to her. And so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? But she just really just went there. And so I said, well, you know, the president I really liked was Richard Nixon because he came on the TV. I was a little girl, but I remember it. And he tried to do what was best for the country, and he stepped down as president. I said, I thought that was admirable, admirable. And then she started on the guns, like, oh, people are wearing guns around here. Y'all got guns, people wearing guns. And she was all blown up. I just don't think that's right. And then I said, well, sometimes I wear mine on my hip, but most of the time I just carry it in my purse. Sometimes I'll just lay it in my car. And she goes, But see, in 2015, Mississippi became an open carry state. But you still have to go through the FBI checks and everything to get a legal gun. But, yeah, y'all got to be ready for that kind of stuff because that's the way it is down here in the South. And, honey, you come in one of our houses, I'm just giving you a warning. We don't want no trouble. We love company. We love people. And we'll love you if you want to come down here from down south. I mean, from up there and come down south. We'll give you some sweet tea and a rocking chair and a porch to sit on. But you try to take our stuff or you try to do something to one of us, we're going to send you to Jesus, let you meet your maker. So that's all I have for you today. Y'all be sweet. I'm going to try to get some more stuff going on. I feel really good because I lost some weight. You know what I'm saying? And I sure feel beautiful. Okay, guys. Y'all be good. Till the next one.